Well, I haven't said anything yet, but I'm sounding good. Okay. I hear you, my brother. The post for this live, tonight's live has got more attention than any other post I've posted over the last 2 years, which is interesting. So let me get started off by saying I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I want to make it very clear that the things I'm saying, after having a number of discussions with people during this week, the things I'm saying and discussing is not my personal opinion, because I have a personal opinion on stuff based on my assessment. All right? Oh, I guess, yeah, Al, I guess it's an attractive photo. So I'm going to do a lot of things differently as I continue to fine-tune my channel and stuff, advertise it better. So having said that, let's get right into it. I was listening to some live on some channels on YouTube, and it's very interesting. What's up, Ishmael? It's very interesting to hear what the masses, women especially, had to say. And relationships are so complex, and when you analyze relationships and you see the issues that relationships tend to have, when you listen to the complaints, complaints tend to come from mainly one gender, because men are very relaxed. So a lot of times men will have issues with stuff and they wouldn't generally think it's an issue because they're more accepting. Now, tonight's live is, why should he accept you as you are? And the reason that I chose that topic is because I've heard that topic. I've never heard it from a man though. I've heard that statement made by women a copious amount of times, but never heard it from a man, and it's a bit concerning and interesting at the same time as to why women would make these statements. Now, I said on my Instagram live over the weekend, on Wednesday, that when two people meet in a relationship, one of the things that is key is the man wants the woman not to change. In other words, he sees her, he's attracted to her, she's nice, she's calm, she's supportive and stuff, and her physical, he likes what he sees. So he hopes that they can actually at least maintain or get better. While he is making room, because he's logical, for age, that grey hair will step in and wrinkles will step in and maybe she'll gain a little weight, maybe 10 pounds and stuff like that. Women, conversely, when they get with a guy, they analyze him where he's at, and they tend to actually hope that he does change. So they come into a relationship with the intention, not at first, but eventually I'm going to assess him and I'm going to change him to make him more refined. Now, while that is an attribute that women are built with towards a man, it's not something that it should be imposed on a man. It should be something that the man is open to, and they see avenue where they can say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm coming into this relationship with you, and I'm going to support you here, there, and here, and there, and here, and there, to get to that end. It should not be a transformation on the basis of what she wants, but it must be to help him further who he is, to get better and more refined. And what you find is, a lot of time, that is not what is happening. Now, when you analyze a woman, because women are the ones who says he should like me as I am, the question really should be, why should he like you as you are? What is it about you that he should like you as you are? And when you do that, you tend to find that the problem starts to step in. What I'm stating is not my opinion. It's more scientific. Because the most women are average. But if you ask most women to assess themselves by giving them a rank between 1 to 10, you will find most people say that they are 7s. The fact of the matter is, 80% or more of women are actually 5s are the best. Now let's assess this carefully, all right? If a woman is 5'6", 5'7", which is the average height of a woman, so we are giving women the average height, and the fact is, a lot of women are not even 5'5", 5'6", 5'7". All right, that's the average height of a woman. When a woman is 5'6", at 25 years old, and she weighs, let's say, 130 pounds, very curvaceous and stuff, curvy, her breasts are plump, and that butt is round, and then let's just estimate that she may be a 7, or even an 8 in ranking. But when you analyze over a 5-year period, 5 years after, or you analyze 10 years after, she's now, let's say, 35. She has gained about 15 pounds. Breast doesn't look the same, butt doesn't look the same, legs are bigger, more wrinkles. What is it that you expect to be ranked? And then if you were to throw in having a baby, a child or two, then what would be your rank? If you were 8, let's just say you were 8, which means that you are at par with people like Beyonce and Halle Berry, and these type of people are 8s and 9s. And 10 years have passed, and you have gotten older. Your ability to reproduce is where doctors are now saying that you are the high risk. Then how is it that you expect to, and most women actually do think that they are ranked 6 and 7s after all of that. So if you're still a 7, let's just say, then what were you 25 years, or let's say 10, 15 years ago, when you were younger, fitter, no kids? If you think you're 7 now, is it that you're 10? You were 10 then? And which is already impossible, because if you are 5'6", it means that you're average height. So a person who is at average height, you're not ever going to be a 10, because there are average things about you. Now, when you look, and the fact is, guys, I want you guys to understand this as women, is that men assess women based on the physical. They see the personal, the thing about your personality, where you think you are a nice person and you're not a gold digger and whatever. Men do not assess women on that basis. Unfortunately, we don't. You assess your partner how he makes you feel, which is his personality and status. We don't. We assess you based on your fitness and your ability to reproduce, which would be how much in shape you are and how many kids or children you are able to make. All right? Now, having said that, hey Kim, good night. Hope all is well with you. So having said that, it means therefore that you as a woman, as you get older, you have a responsibility to do one thing: make sure your fitness is better and better and better all the time. You are not able to simply gain weight. Now, what is funny to me is that every person I've dated or interacted with, when I talk about what is happening in the bedroom, when I interview couples, every woman I know wants a man who has the ability to lift them up. Now, it's a very hard thing for a man to be able to lift you up at 25, but then he's older, and there's a possibility that he is not as good as in shape as he was at 25. And then you have gained about 30 pounds over the last 10 years, but you expect him to be able, cool Kim, you expect him to be able to lift you up still. And if he is not able to, that's a problem. A lot of times when you interact with women, they are not able to assess where they are mentally, because a lot of times they were in relationships and it didn't end well, and so they move from one relationship not having healed properly, doing no therapy, and they're taking that insecurity now and they're taking it into a whole other relationship, which causes a person or a man to not find them appealing. Guys, I know women, and I said this before, I'm sitting now almost with my popcorn and I'm looking carefully. very patient and just watching, because for a lot of women that I know, they have hit a wall, and I would advise them, if I were to be frank, to buy a dog or 2 kittens and just enjoy life. I'm talking about women who I know who are highly educated, highly successful, doctors. No man is coming me. You've hit a wall, you're in your 30s, and time is now running out. It's amazing to me that women tend to assess relationships and assess themselves only from an emotional standpoint, or mainly from an emotional standpoint, which is so detrimental. Every time the sun rises and you hear that rooster crow, you're supposed to get up from that bed with some vigor, because your time is actually running out. COVID-19 did not help women. It actually have made this scenario pretty much worse, because men no longer have to go out on expensive dates and do stuff that they normally would not have done. Right? That's just the reality of it. And so now men can easily get access to women. Now, the thing is, even especially in the black community, there are more women than men when it comes to Africans, or blacks, or colored people. Worldwide, it's pretty balanced. But when you're talking about blacks, there are more women than men. So when you assess that aspect, that in blacks, there are more women than men, you get to understand how critical it is. You get to understand how critical it is for black women. Now, out of all, as I said this in a recent video as well, out of all the ethnic group of women, the one with the worst attitude is ranked as the colored woman, or the black woman. So now what is happening is that you find that men are not willing to accept women as they are, because, for instance, I was in the gym this evening, and while I was there, I only saw 2 women of African descent training. Just 2. I have been in and out for the day, just using today alone. And I purposely made it my business to count how many women I have seen that was in actual, really good shape. And I have not seen a single woman who I looked at today and say, okay, she really takes care of herself. Not one. And I'm talking about, I've seen hundreds of women today. I left my house about 3-4 times for the day. And I have not seen one woman that I looked at and say, okay, she takes care of herself. You can see she's in her weight range. She takes care of herself. So when you have that type of scenario, and knowing fully well that men assess you based on your ability to be compliant, based on your ability to be submissive, your ability to reproduce, and your rate of attraction, as in how good you take care of yourself, and you're not seeing that out there because women are older, they are not taking care of themselves, especially African women are not submissive, then you would find that in most cases a man is not going to accept you as you are. When you look at a female opposed to a male, a woman is supposed to weigh approximately 40 pounds lighter than a man. 40 pounds lighter than a guy. However, you just use your own scenario alone and you will see that in most cases, if a woman is the same height as a male, let's use 5'6", 5'7", in most cases, she is much heavier than he is. In fact, when you look at leg size ratio, you can see sometimes up to 3 or 4 times difference in size of their legs. A woman is having huge legs, opposed to a man who's her partner's legs. Both genders look at their time frame, what their lives is concerned in an emotional aspect. I don't understand what you mean, Tamara. Both genders look, but from the time you start off by saying both genders, you're already wrong. Because both genders do not look at the same thing, ever. There's nothing that the both genders look at the same thing. So when you put both genders, it's not the case. All right? And if you're looking at both, let me just repeat what you said. Both genders Look at their time frame on what their life is concerned in an emotional aspect. No. A woman looks at her time frame based on her ability to reproduce and her viability to rank with other females. And a man looks at his age from a purpose-driven standpoint as to how successful he is and how successful he has been. Women look at the ability to have a husband and a family. Men look at success and wealth. All right, so both genders do not look at the same thing from a time frame aspect emotionally. All right, let me just put that out there. Cool. So back to what I was saying with regards to why should he love you as you are? It's not going to happen. Now, I've interacted with women, for example. Now, the thing is, the shorter you are, the faster it is that you, as a female or male, weight shows on you. So if you are, let's say, 5 feet or 5'2", and you put on 10 pounds, you can see that you put on 10 pounds. All right, if you're just size, let's say 4, and you put on 10 pounds, at that height, you'll be somewhere around a 6. All right. Conversely, for a man, 10 pounds in a man doesn't show like it would in a woman because of testosterone and muscle. However, and body shape. However, if a person is tall, let's say a person is 6'4", 6'5", the taller you are able to hide weight more. So 10 pounds in a person that is, let's say, 6'3", 6'4", almost wouldn't show. Unless you have a person into fitness, you can tell based on fat percentage, and looking at his skin, you can tell. But generally, if he's putting on a suit, you're not going to be able to see it. Or she's putting on a suit, you're not going to really be able to see it. 10 pounds. But a person that is taller, gaining weight, they tend to look worse being overweight. All right? They tend to look worse being overweight. So I have friends, for example, and people who I talk to, because for this week alone, I would have spoken to about 10, 15 people having issues. In fact, all being women. And they all ranked themselves higher than they would or should have. They all assume that men chose women and things that they don't. They are making decisions in dating that are hurting themselves. I've seen women interacting with women up to this week, and I'm seeing women where people are interested in them, but for no reason are they considering the person simply because there's something emotionally that they have not been able to get over, and they are not in a relationship. No one seems to be coming. And so what is amazing to me is how many women I've seen is willing to run the risk of being alone opposed to making a decision that is logical. A decision that is best for them because of the emotional aspect. Even when you look at, in my own experience as well, I've seen how an ex or someone that I used to date, how they interact with me before, during, and after the breakup. And I've seen women, because of female hypergamy, operate at a level that is so damaging that there comes a point in time when they wake up and they realize, hey, nothing is happening for me, and so they want to make a huge jump, and at that time it is too late. You know, it is too late, because anytime you wake up and you feel that way, it's because of hypergamy, you have been outside of that market zone a long time ago, sometimes even years, before you assess or realize, whoa, I'm actually outside. The fact of the matter is, most people or women that come into a relationship, and I'm saying this because let me tell you why I keep using women as the predominant gender in relationships, is simply because relationships are about women, not men. In other words, a relationship is never going to make a man ultimately happy. Success does, and his purpose does that. All right, that's why most women will tend to think that a man is more into a vehicle than they are into them in some situations, or sports, opposed to listen to what they have to say. Now, relationships are about a woman, if a woman is a CEO of a company but she doesn't have a family and a husband, she can be satisfied with her ability to excel in life, but she is never going to be ultimately happy as a female because she does not have the relationship that she wants, which is going to be a husband and a family, right? But so that being the case, I'm still amazed that when I look at the rate of divorce and I'm seeing that now it's not 75% anymore, it's now 80% of divorces are applied for by women. It's so concerning because in 80% of the divorces applied for by women, only about 20 or 30% of them are able to remarry or remarry, because getting a divorce is separating yourself from a piece of you, right? And what happens is that most women never heal from that. I'm sure most of you have grandparents and parents who would have divorced a husband, or husband would have died, or wife would have died, and especially if the husband would have died, because I've seen some men, the wife died and in less than a year they were remarried. In most cases, that doesn't happen for women. It really, like every woman I know right now, and I know a few women, I think I know about 10, 15 women right now who are, I think all under 40, that are going through a divorce right now as we speak, or just had a divorce, and the probability of remarrying is highly unlikely based on the scenarios that they are and where they are at right now. And most of them are damaged and have not sought therapy. Most of them are damaged. So the point I'm making is, let's just remove marriage out of the scenario. What you see is that the more relationships a woman go into, that's why men ask women how many boyfriends or partners they actually had. Women, that doesn't matter to women as it does to men, because women are retainers. Women receive. So women tend to hold on to stuff because their mind never stops running. And most women don't know how to control their minds, so they actually either talk themselves out or think themselves out of happiness in most cases. Recently, for example, I've seen up to today where a woman is complaining that she's in a great relationship, a person who really likes her, who she's really attracted to, but they're from different culture, and so the person that she's with continues to make a single joke that she does not like. She wanted to end the relationship because she don't like the joke that he's making. Now that's an amazing thing, that a woman is willing to walk away from a relationship with someone who is talking about marriage with her, simply because he's making a joke that she does not like. It shows you how emotionally unstable most women actually are. A joke which should be brushed under the carpet. You should not be so sensitive that even if your partner is making a joke that you don't like, he's not abusing you, he's not roughing you, he's not doing something forcefully on you, he's making a joke. Just watch him and just move on. It should not affect you like that. But people are so fragile. Good night, Raquel. And the female hypergamy mixed with it. You're willing to walk away from a person. I don't know how many of you women feel that you get numerous and countless chances of meeting a person that is going to spend your life with, a life mate or a life partner. In most cases, most of you, exactly, Tamara, just communicate, and even if it doesn't stop, let's just say he's immature in that regard where he's still making a joke, it should not be something to terminate a relationship. Now, if a joke is making you terminate a relationship, then she's not supposed to be in any relationship with anybody as far as I'm concerned. She's not ready for things that are going to come that are much worse than that. That's just the sad reality of what is actually happening out there. You know, but most women are actually holding on to stuff that is so damaging to them that you're willing to walk away from a relationship, and you're willing to cancel scenarios and cancel situations that you're in for safety, and because of things that are not really that important. And then on the flip side, you see a lot of women are making choices because they're so emotionally unstable or they're so emotionally affected by scenarios that they're willing to make those decisions, wanting people that they should not be with or can't get. But if you ask the average woman to rank themselves, they give you a rank that is higher than actually true. Most women just wake up a morning, see someone, and assume, I think I'm fit to be with that person. I shoot my shot. They don't shoot it directly, but they shoot the shot. The problem is men are more realistic in ranking themselves between 1 to 10 because men are rejected so often by women. What I've realized is, I said this a long time, I remember years ago I was saying, why this is that when you pass women that they tend to not look at you. They tend to do as if they see a bird in the sky or super groover flying or a frog jumping crossing the road or some duck, something. They see something just when they're passing you. Fact of the matter is, a woman can literally look at you while she head is straight while you think she's not looking. So I know these things now. You know, having researched the brain and the development between both genders and stuff and how the brain works and stuff, I know these things now. But the reason women hurt themselves is because most of the time, women who are highly attractive don't do stuff like that. That happens with women who have insecurities. I agree with you, Tamara. I do agree with you. That's why I said that she should not be in a relationship. Because it means that she's mentally unstable and there's a lot going on there that has not healed. And it's dangerous for her and the person. That's a relationship that is going to end in divorce, almost certainly. Without a doubt. You know? So, you guys were saying before, when you see that level of insecurity that women have, you have to analyze it very carefully. I just came from the supermarket, and coming from the supermarket, when I walked in there, I saw, because this happens all the time, and so I'm able to evaluate from a hierarchical standpoint where I fall in, with regards to rank. I see the reaction that people do either in the gym or if I go into a supermarket, gas station, wherever I go. And so I walked into the supermarket tonight, and as I walked through the door, some of the girls who were packing the shelves, as well as the cashiers, one of them said, make a comment and like, they say Mary, and they decided to laugh from all over the supermarket. Now that's almost code for linking each other, and that's women nervous behavior. So I got what I needed and I walked to the cash now, and you can just feel how nervous she is, you know, because I had to choose which cashier. So I walked to one, and you can tell how nervous this girl is and stuff. You can see her actions, how she's getting the machine and the numbers and everything. And so I decided to hear what? Let me just kind of ease her up and give her a compliment, because while that might be dangerous in most cases, I looked at her and I assessed her and I said, okay. So I looked at her here and I said, I really appreciate the fact that you're rocking your natural hair. Keep it up. And she said, you know, thanks very much for that. I was thinking about relaxing it. I said, please don't. It increases your value that you have the ability to rock your natural hair and be you fully. So please don't put anything into it. Just be you. Men respect the fact that you can be yourself and just be you and be that brave. And she said, thank you for that advice. I'm going to remember that for life. I said, no problem. And I walked out. Let me tell you guys something now. This is why I mentioned why should he choose you as you are. Because that's a concept that women think that men must do, when most times, most women aren't really valuable to men. You just think that you are, but you really aren't as valuable to men. In fact, most women are an adjustable 5 or 6. What that means is that only when you put on makeup and do your hair and nails and put on something to wear, you look cute. Generally, outside of that, you look average. I have been with women that sleeping as soon as they wake up first thing in the morning without brushing their teeth, they are 8s and 9s without makeup, just getting up from sleep. But I've also seen women who are so pretty that if they put on makeup, I know 2 of them, if they put on makeup, they look ugly. I don't know if you all have ever interacted with someone like that, but the minute they put on makeup, the point is they're so pretty that making them look better is a very difficult thing for most makeup artists to do, because their face cannot take much more enhancement. Their facial ratio is near perfect. So their facial ratio is near perfect. But when I look at them, they're either wearing a wig, they're either wearing weaves, but they're not able to just, and if they have their real hair out, it's relaxed. They are not able to really rock their natural hair. I know some gorgeous girls that I would say are 8s and 9s with great ease. I know one, for example, who just recently did the big chop, and she said she's so relaxed, but uncomfortable, but it was so difficult for her to do because of the degree of insecurity that came with it. You understand? Tomorrow, I have no issue complimenting anyone on this live, but the fact of the matter is, most people, like 95% of the women on this live, do not, and they have been listening. Some of you have been listening to me over a year, going into 2 years, and you all have not been able to get in shape. You have not taken care of your health. You have not taken care of your body. What compliments should I give? It takes 3 months to 6 months max for you to lose the weight and get in shape, unless you weigh 100 pounds extra. And there's not one of you, if there are, any one of you who are looking right now, who, since I've been talking this and you have been here, have gotten your body in shape in a 3 to 6 month period, just make a comment down here and let me know. Because I know most of the people who actually are on live now, and I can tell you that it's not the case. Like 90% of women, 80-90% of women in this country are not in shape. I told you today I've seen over 200-300 women, not one I looked at and was able to say, wow, she's in shape, or just simply she gyms out, or she works out. Not one. So unfortunately, I can't give compliments when it's not due. But as I was saying with regards to the hair, it was just amazing that these girls are so pretty, but they cannot just simply be their full authentic selves. So if you can't be your authentic self, if you can't not wear nail polish, not put on makeup, you can't rock your natural hair, you can't just wear a normal or good bra without it being pushed up, or wearing some waist restrictors, then why is it that this man should accept you? Why should he accept you? Because if you can't accept you, then how fair is it that you want somebody else to accept you when you are not able to accept your own selves? Because if you could, you would not be surrounding yourself with putting on all these hair and makeup and stuff continuously. But yet you want somebody to accept you. It's a very difficult thing for you to want of anybody. You don't see men doing these things. In fact, we don't have the ability to do these things. We bear our true selves. We are the ones who actually take the risk by stepping forward to make a move. And you are the ones who don't make the move because most of you are horrified to approach a guy and show any kind of interest. And then you are the ones who are able to show the facade of who you actually are. And we have to go through and break down those walls before we can assess carefully if you're authentic or not. In most cases, in most cases, most women are not authentic. And for me personally, I've been preaching it a lot, and I've been for many years I've been giving women sort of a pass. But I'm not doing it anymore. Because I get up and I do the diet and I do this morning I walked doing my cardio in the rain. Rain fell, I came inside, I went back and I do cardio after it stopped. In the wet. Right? I get up and I do the work, and so because I do the work, I'm not giving anybody a pass. If you're coming at me, you're not getting a pass. Don't step at me because I'm going to simply say you're not in that league. It's alright. Sorry. This is just me. I am no longer willing to do that. You understand? And everybody can put in that effort, but they don't. They simply don't put in that effort to do that type of work, to get that type of result. But yet you feel that a person should accept you for you. Why should a person accept you? Most women I know have never really seen what their face looks like because they have been overweight for most or all of their lives. So, just like makeup or any other thing, a mask, fat on your face does not show you what your face actually looks like. Just look at anybody who have lost a copious amount of weight and you will see. Fat on your face does not show you what you actually look like. You don't see what your jawline is. You don't really see how your eyes are structured because your eyes look smaller than they actually are. Your mouth looks smaller than it actually is as well. So why would he or should he accept you? I'm on Tinder. And I'm on Tinder and I poll Tinder and I ask questions, I talk to people. And the reason that people are on Tinder is because they want something. You want attention or you want a relationship. And I'm amazed to see the images that on Tinder. If I'm accepting or liking an image, it's like 1 in 20 or 25 a person looks likable. Like I'm amazed. Just as a woman, open an account as a male, a dummy account, and put up a number range and see what it is that men actually have to select from. It's horrifying. And those are the ones that have decided to go on Tinder. And every one of those women, if you were to ask them, I'm guaranteeing you, based on the images I've seen alone, these women are actually telling themselves that they're worthy. They're worthy, and a person should like you because you're a nice human being, and they should like you because of who you are, and they should like you. It's not what men see and choose you by. A man does not care if you are a doctor or if you are a waitress. He doesn't care if you have a nice personality. So he's not going to choose you based on who you are because he's not interested in who you are. It's not how men assess. That's what men want and seek and see what happens after they have decided to be with you. As I said before, men are the ones who have the keys to relationship. You have the keys to sex. And I'm against children before marriage. And if a woman decides not to have sex before marriage, I support that fully. But the problem is, when you look at the dating world, you see women who have given themselves to a lot of men who are of low value. Sometimes I've even given them children. And now you're older, 5, 10, 15 years older. And you want somebody of higher value now to be with you when you're older. You're not as marketable, not as attractive, not as fit, not as sexy, not able to reproduce as you were. And you have given somebody else of a lower value a kid, and you now want this person to accept you as you are, and you have not dealt with your baggage either. Because I'm sure you women you people, you guys have seen a girl who would have been with somebody for a long time, and as soon as the relationship breaks up, she gets with somebody else, and she either gets pregnant or this other guy marries her. And then what I tend to hear a lot is, look how as Susie leave Rennie. How? But you know what? When she decided to leave and go with someone else, the person who she went with after me, for example, He did not get what I got. He did not have to deal with what I dealt with. She would have made an adjustment knowing fully well that if she goes back into that relationship doing the exact same thing, he's going to cancel her out. But she also have not dealt with the fact that the relationship ended because of a particular reason. So what happens in most cases is that she goes into that new relationship not doing something that she would have normally done, but not dealing with the issues of course that to do it in the first place. And so now this new person is dealing with a facade. And it takes years, sometimes a year or 2 years before the true self starts to come out over time, because you really can't hide it if it's not dealt with. And then this man now realizes, oh my God, what mess have I made? And then you see he decides to get a divorce. He shuts down, and when he shuts down, over time you tend to find she's saying she's not happy, etc., etc., and then she wants a divorce. Any woman who's in a relationship where she loved a man and asks for a divorce, it's not because, and I'm saying any woman, I'm saying this because of the mental aspect of a woman's brain is makeup opposed to a man's brain is makeup. Granted, there are some bridge brain women and some bridge brain men, but women, if they are happy in a relationship, are mentally engaged in that relationship, that they are not able to get out of that relationship. And sometimes even when they are unhappy. This is why if you ask most women, if a man starts to abuse you, will you accept it? Every single one will say no, but I'm sure you have seen and know a lot of women who have taken physical and abuse from men for a long time. It's simply because she's engaged mentally to who he is or to him. Whether it be positive or negatively, she cannot just simply walk away, because mentally she's engaged, she's locked into him, because her emotions is rattled and he's causing it. It is when a woman's emotions is no longer being rattled is when she's able to disconnect from that man and now decide she wants to be out. And so what actually happens in that relationship is men, because of passive men are generally, and you see they say happy wife, happy life, what tends to happen is men shut down. And if in the statistically, when you assess sex in relationships, while women have the key to sex, and you see on television and stuff, women telling men to go and sleep on the couch, what actually happens in relationship is not what you see on TV most times. Most times, the man is actually turned off of having sex with the woman. And when he turns off of having sex with you, it means that his testosterone levels are going to fail. More arguments are going to come in. Both of you are going to gain weight because cortisol has stepped in, because you're both under stress. Dopamine levels are going to drop because you're no longer putting love into the love banks. And so she now wants a divorce because he has switched off. And the difference is between both genders is a man can stay with a woman for life, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and he switched off. A woman generally can't do that unless she's bridge brain. She wants out one time because she's emotionally disconnected, and so she can't even kiss him. He can still kiss her even though he's disconnected, because he makes decisions based on logic. So the difference between both genders is that the man needs sex and a woman desires it. And so that is what happens in a relationship. And this is why most times a man is never really ever going to accept you as you are, because one, he doesn't have to, and two, why should he? And if he does accept you, he's not going to continue to accept you as you are, because if you haven't worked on the issues that you have as flaws, it's going to come back and bite you. So the concept where most women are actually saying that a man should love them as they are, it's a dangerous precedent that women are setting, and it's not something that women should even tend to want to accept or try to do or go after. If you can't be your authentic selves, if I'm telling you women this, if you can't rock your natural hair, because if you came out of your mother and your hair was blue or your hair was red or purple and stuff, as I said before, NASA would be researching you still. You would not be a free person. If your nails came out the way it looks, with all of these rubies and points, as if you are you're a vampire where these nails are so long and pointy, you would not be acceptable in life at all. I mean, so the fact that you have to put on all of these adornments, let's use that term, to give yourself some degree of comfort and satisfaction when you step over there, it means that there is a problem. And whether women and men actually think there is one when they engage with you, you see that subconscious person, that you see the difference between your brain and your mind. You see your mind looks on behind your eyes or your brain and see what you're doing. It's like I am asking you, what are you rate yourself? Am I 8 or 10? And you say I'm a 9. The minute that 9 comes out of your mouth, that mind, that person, that individual, that spirit, that person that you actually are behind your brain, that is putting up this facade, tells you you're lying. You feel it. You say it in your mind. Your insecurity comes up because you know it's not true. The minute it comes out of your mouth, you know that you just tell a big lie. You're not a 9. Because your mind says, yeah, but you don't want nobody to see that you have a overlapping toe, or you don't want nobody to see that toenail dig out, or you don't want nobody to see that big long cut toe, whatever it is you have on your leg. That is why you never wear short pants, or you don't want nobody to see cellulites. That's why you at the minute you say that you are that, your brain comes and shuts you down because it tells you, you're just lying, right? You're not even a good 6. And so what tends to happen is, if you go on images of most people on Facebook or social media, they are this close to their camera. You can't even see the neck. Some of them don't have any neck. Long story short is, a man is never and should never accept you as you are. And if a man needs to accept you as you are, it's going to be a dangerous thing for you. Because I'll tell you women something. I was talking to some friends yesterday, and one of the things that this woman said is, the things that you say, you aren't lying for the last 2 years. So the fact that she says 2 years, it means that for 2 years, she knows that I'm talking about this. Sometimes I am shocked to see I'm doing this 3 and something years now. I'm shocked. So for 2 years, she knows that I'm doing this. Mind you, she never comes on alive. So what happens is that, and a lot of people do this, they don't want me to see them coming on to look at the live right now, but that's because I've seen over 100 and something people look at the posters for this live. Right? So when I'm finished with the video and I post it, then they go and look at it. That's what happens in most cases. They don't want me to see. So hear what she says. Not that you're talking, you're lying when you're speaking. It's just that you're being a little too honest, and we are not going to just listen to you because you're saying it, even if it's the truth. You need to sort of soften the blows a little bit for us to be able to accept it. Now, isn't that a crazy statement? Because I've told you many times that the statement is not what you say, is how you say it, is not correct. In fact, it is one of the most dangerous statements in communication. Because if you go on how somebody says something and not what is actually coming out of the person's mouth. Because most of the people that I have gotten great advice from were not people who were high in office and highly successful. Was people vagant on the street, was somebody who you look and think that they don't have much. Those are the people who have given me some of the best advice in my life, that really pause me and make me look and be careful and say, okay, I see you, I hear you. So it couldn't be the truth by somebody's, and those people don't tell you, don't butter up nothing. You understand? They don't butter up a thing. So she's saying that I'm supposed to put some sugar on it because it's too harsh for women to accept. Now let me tell you guys something. Every single one of you should be able to just accept the truth. I spoke to a friend yesterday, and she gave me a whole scenario. No name calling, and this is why I have no issue with people having an issue with what I say and how I say things, because the amount of people I speak to on a daily basis that look at my live and talk to me afterwards, I know that I do things right. I've seen people from all over the world come out and tell me afterwards. So I know, and there are a lot of women who agree, even though they may not even be in the best shape, they agree with everything I say. But here it is, this woman is telling me that I need to make it sound a little nicer for women to accept. Why? Because women, hypergamy, will not allow them to accept the fact that they are not actually where they are. So in order to say it, in other words, you ask me if you're overweight and I say yes, that's a problem. What they actually want me to say is, you're not really fat, but you look way better. Like you are about a 9 now, but you look like a 10 if you just go in the gym. So you want me to lie in order for you to accept it. And then for you to continue to hurt yourself because you actually are 4 in ranking, but you want me to lie and say that you are a 9 just to get you in the gym, which could only make you about a 5 or a 6. Guys, let me tell you. I was telling a friend of mine that stopped it tonight. I don't tell people anything really harsh. Because if you could assess my temperament as the kind of person I am, and you could just picture if I want to embarrass a woman or say something that is going to be shameful against the females, trust me, I have enough experience. It's funny because I'm thinking about so much in my mind right now. I can talk about a woman's hair because most women here doesn't smell well. They don't wash it enough. There are all kinds of stuff coming out in the scalp. I could talk about a woman's skin either be too dry or unhealthy because of how much buttons it have on it. I can talk about your waistline and your shape. I can talk about women who walk with their feet with one twist inward or something and look out of alignment. I can talk about women's breath. I can talk about body odor from some places, if you know what I mean. I can talk about women's breasts and the actual state of it. I can talk about women's butt and the actual state of it. So if you could just picture the things I can say, which I can just use normal, honest things about those parts I call it. Not even trying to make it, enhanced. Not even giving you stories of my own history scenarios like those with people. If I just mention those things and talk on those things, just picture how bad it's going to be. Because it happens and men experience it every single day. That's not what happens. That is not what we talk about. That is not what they say. We don't have those conversations. But I come here and I talk the truth. And the problem is, the truth always offends. Yeah, Maya, I see you're late. But the truth always offends. So analyze what I'm talking about carefully. See how many issues men actually have. There are very few women that don't have issues with any of the things I just mentioned there. In fact, I'm thinking now, and I could only think about maybe one that don't have issues with those things I just mentioned there. One. I've interacted with women. Guys, let me tell you something. Both genders are supposed to have fresh birth. But it's way worse when a woman's breath doesn't smell right than when a man's doesn't smell right. Because men generally don't talk as much as women. So it will happen a lot with more men based on what they eat too. But when a woman, when that comes, that is not feminine. That's the best way to put it. All those things I just mentioned there, Men see. Us men see. If I just mention 7 things, most women actually have about 3 or 4 out of those 7 things I just mentioned. And us men see those things. And we accept it. We just accept it because we say, okay, she is not perfect, but maybe she's perfect for me. Cool scene. Women, on the other hand, do not accept men with those things. You could imagine a woman going out with a man and he pick her up and he cash her down. Or he go out on a date and his sinus started about him and sneezing, cool came out his nose. You could imagine how most women react. I've seen it. I've been in lines with friends and I've seen how the girlfriends and things react. But could you imagine how a man reacts when that happens to a woman? He's out with her and his sinus are dark up and she's sneezing and it's cold and whatever. Not once does he scorn her or think that it's bad or anything. He is more concerned about what he can do to get to the pharmacy and help her to get better. That's not what happens in most cases with women. The fact of the matter is most women simply are not worth the salt and men not accepting that anymore. So women are going to have a much more difficult time in order to find a mate, especially because of COVID. Because COVID is going to be around for at least 12 more months. And it takes about 4 months for a habit to change. And so we have been in this for a year. So trust me, when COVID is over, relationships and dating is never going to be the same. So it's going to be much more difficult for women to actually find a mate because events are going to start back slowly. So outside interactions are going to be pretty slow. Then men are not going to generally start back spending money to take you on any date because in most cases, most men will have somebody who they can go and knock for free to get what they want. So for him to take you out on a date, you would have to stand out in his mind as somebody special, which is not the case in most scenarios. Social media has caused women to be so transparent, much more transparent than they actually know. The only way to get away from that is not being on social media. So men look at social media. If a man sees your image on social media and he thinks or says anything sexy, it means that you've already failed. Anytime a man is making a sexual statement or comment based on what you post, it means that he sees you as a sex object and he sees your value to him as a wife very limited. So generally, when a man is looking for a wife, he will not accept most women as they are, because most women should not be accepted as they are. They are dangerous. And because women are the ones who are seeking to get divorced in 80%, 70 to 80% of marriages now, it tells you that women are not happy in relationships. And most cases, it's not because the man is not doing enough. It's because women most times want too much. This is actual research that a lot of times women blame men for not being happy in a relationship because they don't do enough to get their own hormone levels back where it's supposed to be. In other words, girls line, facials, manicure, pedicure, stuff that's feminine, and so she puts more stress on the man, and that's where it gets dangerous. And what makes it even worse is that now women want more out of men, and men are not willing by a long shot to give women more because women are giving men less. And so every day you listen and you see something come up where women wants more. They want a man to now be in the room when they're making a baby. It's not going to happen, at least not on my end. Go and make a baby and come out and I'll figure out what it is. I'm not going in a room to watch you push out no baby. Never happen. It's just not happening. And any man I talk to, I tell them some stuff. Like when I speak to men one-on-one, I tell them never kneel down before a woman. Today, for example, a friend of mine told me that she wants to be proposed to in Paris. Guys. And then she said she wanted it could be a theme. Guys, even if it's a theme or it's actual Paris. I asked her, are you willing to pay for the ticket and the hotel accommodation to get to Paris and he proposed? Hell no. Guys, men, for a man to propose, take a woman to Paris to propose, not only does he have to be a high value man, a highly successful man with a certain amount of money, you have to be a woman in a caliber that is a 9 or 10 in ripping form, in your prime of prime. Otherwise, I am not asking you, I'm telling you. None of you can tell me somebody you know that happened to. Where he, and just tell me, guys, anybody you know that this man take her to Paris to propose and come back. And if it does happen, just tell me what age the person is and what do you rank them. Because I'm telling you, a man is not doing that for women anymore. That is where it has reached. We're not carrying you to Paris to propose. In fact, I tell men, stop kneeling down and stop proposing. Stop asking women to propose, to marry you as well. Put it out there. Marry me. You are marrying that person. Let them say no. Stop kneeling down. Don't honor anybody unless they have done something. 10 years pass, you go back and you kneel down and you honor them. If they have not done something, stop giving women more value than they actually have, because women do not do it to men. It's not me being harsh. It's not me withdrawing a lot of things with men. It's simply, this is what is actually hurting men in relationships, because women actually cling to men who do not do these things. In fact, a woman loves the bad boy. A woman wants the baddest of bad boys, but wanting to be good for her alone. And a man wants the best or the goodest of good girls and wants her to be bad for him alone. That's the difference between two genders. None really gets it right. In most cases, there are few women who knows that, hey, I remember there was one, I was dating a guy, I was like with a guy. He was like my right hand. And I was dating a girl at the time, living right next to where he was living. And you're wise, Amaya. And every time we going out, this guy see coming out, I see this guy dress, before he leaves, she call him back inside. Half an hour, 45 minutes after pass. I call in his phone, knocking the door, nothing. It take me about 6 months before I realized what actually going on. Every single time that he going out, she used to make sure that she put it down on him. I mean, proper. And she should tell him, and he should tell me every time she says the same thing. Now go out there and see if anybody will do better than what you just get there. She fed him and she put it down on him. That's what happens. It's that simple, guys. She fed him and she put it down on him. Very few women, I've not seen something that I've since. Very few women have that type of mentality to know that that's what a man requires and that's how you keep him engaged. Most cases, women are highly selfish. In fact, now women want is it a push gift? So they want a gift when they're making a baby, like a bracelet or a ring or some jewelry or something as a comfort when they're making baby. It's new. I've heard it just up to last week. They want a push gift now. It's so crazy you have gotten. Anyhow, so I hope you guys understand. And Amaya, I'm happy that you say you don't need that. That's how crazy it is. I mean, I was blown away when I hear Paris to propose. Listen, you guys read too much of these romance novels. You guys, marriage is not about love. You got the guys that come out of that. Marriage is not about love. You're supposed to love yourself before you go into a marriage. If you go into a marriage because you want to be loved, you crazy. Not going to happen. These romance novels that you read, this man coming in and some white stallion and the stallion going to rise in the air and he hold on to the stallion and he jumps off and he comes and he swings you over and he kisses you, hanging over, he kisses you. And cut that nonsense out. That's not what's going to happen. That's not what's going to happen when you get a man. And until you get to understand that you have to be authentic, you have to do some work on yourself. Because let me just, by inclusive, let me just ask this question. How many of you actually think that if you were to rank yourself against Angela Bassett, who's about what, 65 now? How many of you think that you look better and you rank higher, forget status, that if Angela Bassett puts on a dress, no, or wears a swimsuit, no, she has kids and she's 65 years or something old now, how many of you can say with surety that you would look better than that 65-year-old woman? How many of you? Do it in your bed after a full best. Do understand? Sorry, Mama. I want just could anybody respond and say which one of you think that if you were to stand up next to Angela Bassett, who is 60-something years old now, I believe. Let's say 60. Last I heard she was about 63. That you can look better than she does in a dress. Because when I'm done this video, I'm going to post Angela Bassett up in a dress of recent time. I'm just going to Google it and I'm going to put a dress, the outfit that she wore just recently. I don't care what it is. And I want you guys to see. Because in Black Panther recently, oh God, are wicked. In Black Panther recently, they tried to make sure she wasn't sexy at all. She never wears something that shows any physique. Because that woman, her body. Since she acted Stella Got Her Groove Back, since she acted Ike Tina, to now, look how consistent she has been. Which one of you women in your 30s think that you can stand next to Angela Bassett, who is 60-something years old, in a dress or any outfit? Which one? And that's how bad it is. That's why men should not like you as you are, because you don't do your best to be your best. Why should he? Why should he? Imagine that. Imagine that. There's no man at 60 that you guys can point out to me that could outshadow me. Point him out for me. Go and find him and point him out and let him stand next to him. I bet you I can name a number of things that I beat him by. It's really unlikely. But look how easy it was for me to just call one woman and not one of you can say, I look better than that 65-year-old woman. 65 or 63-year-old woman. That's crazy. That a woman 20 years older than you can make you look like nothing. Isn't that crazy? Say what? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Bye for now. We'll talk soon. I'm going to do some more lives. I'm going to do a schedule of lives and post it. And I'm also going to do some short videos and just post it as well. We're doing a lot more. We're ramping it up a little bit. This video is going to be posted onto YouTube and Facebook tonight with all the relevant thumbnail and images and stuff to match with it. And that's how we're going to do it from now going on. So, okay, so like, share, comment, subscribe. Remember to share this video. Send it to someone who you think would need to hear it, because it's something that I really think that women especially need to hear and really look at. All right, so don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll talk soon. You could send me an email, or you can inbox me if you have questions and any concerns you want to have, or there's something you want to discuss, and we'll discuss it. I'll do a video on it soon. All right? Bye for now.